आई थिंक ट्विच पे नहीं हुआ, चलेगा, नो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, चलो। ओके, लेट्स गो। ओके, सो वी हैव पुष्पक टुडे विथ अस। ओह, हाय अनिकेत।
Hey,
ओके।
so people were
Hmm.
waiting for us today. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Okay, so we have Pushpak today with us. We're gonna like do some like uh, R&D on the AI stuff, or maybe okay. Pushpak will tell us what we're gonna do, and he will introduce his self also. So okay, Pushpak.
Sure. So I'm not a new to this channel. I'm quite like a recurring guest over here. So yeah, myself, Pushpak, I work as a software engineer. There is a company called Zango AI. I'm a founding software engineer. And today, mostly Punyapal invited me to speak about the package, which is called Prism. Basically, this using this Prism package, you can actually integrate your Laravel apps with different types of LLMs out there. And currently, there is like literally lot much demand to the people who understand how this LLM and generative AI works, right? So Punyapal just asked me to take this introductory setup, like with how exactly everything works with Prism and Laravel. Uh, Currently, many of you might have think that Python ecosystem is very much great for LLM. I totally agree with that, but at the same time, PHP is also like catching up with the Python ecosystem, and we have so many great packages out of in the PHP ecosystem itself with connecting to all different types of LLM providers. So yeah, that's mostly about it, and that's mostly we're going to talk about it in today's stream. So Punyawal, do you want to take it away from here?
So yeah, so even like you guys can suggest us what you want to see in the like AI or Prism, right? We're gonna talk about Prism, Laravel, and AI. So you guys can ask anything in the comments, and we're gonna try to like answer or do that thing into the like code which we are doing, right? Okay. So where we can start, Pushpak?
So, what I think that I will just quickly show how exactly Prism works, like a very basic uses of it, and then we can just ask the chat what
Mm-hmm.
exactly they wanted to know about all these different LLMs and Prisms, right? So
Yeah.
let's dive it right away without doing a delay. So let me
Mm.
first share my screen. I will share something about the Prism and what exactly the Prism is, and then we will dive into the code right away.
Sure.
And so I hope everyone is able to see my screen. So Prism is basically a package which let you integrate all these different types of LLM providers out there. If you have worked with a Python ecosystem, this is like a similar thing, kind of what exactly LangChain does for you. It's not exactly like a complete replacement of LangChain at this point, but it's like one part of the LangChain is something which Prism actually takes care for now. And if you have worked in Node ecosystem, there is some AI SDK from the Vercel. I think Prism is like more like of AI SDK of Vercel. So yeah, it's like Prism gives you a unified way. So consider this as
Mm-hmm.
a Laravel cache facade. So using Laravel cache facade, you can actually interact with different types of cache providers. Let's say file, database cache, or Redis, Memcache, right? So same way using Prism, you get a very nice and fluent API using which you can actually interact with all these different LLM providers out there. Again, all these LLM providers integrating them themselves is a very complicated task. I will say if you look at the specs of different APIs or right, let's say Open AI API. Let me just quickly open the docs for this. So you see, this is the mostly the chat completion API which is being used to complete your chat, right? Like, whenever you use ChatGPT or any AI tools, right? The text it generate, right? It basically handles by this chat completion API. So, and when you see this API reference, right? You can see this. The API is quite simple, but there are a lot of properties you can see over here, and even the responses will be quite detailed. And every AI provider, such as OpenAI, such as Gemini, Anthropic, there is Amazon Bedrock, there is different types of AI providers out there. They have their own way of dealing with this chat completion. So having this maintained in your Laravel application becomes very much cumbersome over the period of time. So let's suppose if you want to integrate first OpenAI, and now let's suppose you want to experiment with something with Anthropic or a Google Gemini, right? You have to literally build the entire API integration or API service yourself again. Prism just actually take care of that entire thing for you. So currently, if you see, Prism has this many provider support. There is Amazon Bedrock. Currently, the development is still going on. Uh, we are still in like a final stages of finalizing the API, how exactly the Bedrock API should look like. There is an Anthropic for which most of the things are already supported except the streaming. Then there is a Azure OpenAI. Even the API specification for is very quite different. So that is still not yet supported using Prism. Then there is a DeepSeek, there is a Gemini, for which like all the things are supported at this point. There is Grok, there is Mistral, there is Olama, there is OpenAI, and there is OIJI and XAI. So as you can see, like there's a lot of things, lot of APIs. So whenever we mostly look at the text API, right? The text is nothing but this chat completion API. You can see like you have to pass a input in a certain way, and then you will get a response of that input. So the your LLM model will actually complete the entire output and then will give you that back to you. That's how it looks like. I hope it. I covered a lot of things, Punyapal. Even do you have a question? Like, is
Hmm.
something I missed something or not?
No, no, it's good. Like someone was having a question like regarding streaming, right? I
Yeah.
told you like
I think
let
we
me.
can look at it at later though.
Yeah, we can do that. Hmm.
So I have used Prism at work though. There was a
Mm-hmm.
Laravel app, right? And I will tell you the very good use cases with Prism. So using Prism, right, you can interact with all these APIs. And now once you have these APIs, you can do all sort of things with what you can do with the ChatGPT also. So let's suppose I can just give you a random example where let's say you are building a movie review application. Okay. And now people can come add the reviews or any sort of review application now for say. And now there are a lot of reviews. Now your boss comes to you and tell that we have to process this reviews as a good positive review or negative review, and you have to show that
Right.
into your UI. Now, before this LLMs and AI, there might be some machine learning algorithm you can use to identify, classify this type of reviews into positive or negative sentiment. But once
Mm-hmm.
this generative AI has come, you can also use this to classify your reviews, right? You can form a prompt such like that. Let's say you ask ChatGPT that this is a review. Now classify this review as a positive review or a negative review. And then you can ask it to give you in a specific format so that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you will always have a validated schema from your LLM itself. Now, once you get this, you can store this somewhere into your database and then you can show this. This is a positive review or negative review. This is like one basic example which I can think of. There are a lot of different use cases which I used to do with a Prism. Prism is just a wrapper on top of all this API. So consider this that whatever things you can do with the LLMs, right now with ChatGPT, with Claude or something like that, you can all actually build that same thing with the Prism itself. Even the chatbots you can see, right? You if you wanted to build a chatbot specifically trained on your documents, right? You can actually build a chatbot specifically trained on your documents or trained on your personal data. And then you can just interact with all these different LLMs out there.
Right. So like which AI provider is like based from your point of view? Like I mean,
Again, it's not like that. So sometimes what happens, right? Different companies have their different LLMs. If you see general purpose LLM, I feel OpenAI is a very good in the general purpose setting where you have to do some kind of summarization, you have to rewrite something in a very specific way, or maybe
hmm,
something classification also.
right?
Okay. Now there is another thing where there is a enterprise stuff you want to do. Let's suppose there is a lot of big chunks of documents, and then you want to ask questions on those document, or maybe let's say extract some specific information from that text. That let's say this is a title, this is a XYZ thing, right? At that time, I think Gemini like basically works the best because Gemini has lot much context window. Context window is nothing but how much data you can actually pass and process by the LLM itself.
Yeah. So it has like I think 2 million tokens limit, right?
It no, it has 1 million context length at this point. 2 million was recently released by the Llama itself, Llama 4,
Okay.
which has 2 million
Right.
context. Again, there
Mm-hmm.
are debates around this, like the 2 million context is not working correctly. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
behaves very widely after 200
Right.
context length, 200,000 context length. So 2 million context length is a very huge. You can actually put lot many like 1,000 page book also. Right?
Right.
Again, it's a subjective, but you can actually put a 1,000 page book inside your LLM, and then LLM can actually
Mm-hmm.
store that information real time and give you the answers on top of it.
Yeah, even see if we give some thought process and choose one of the provider, right? They have different kind of models as well, right? Like if we go with the open
Yes.
AI, we will have a 3.0, 4.0, 4 mini. So we will have a like plenty of the like I mean models.
Yeah,
So
I will tell you that the model consideration becomes dependent on two things: what exactly you need to
mm,
do and what is the cost. Now, Gemini offers like a very low cost in the industry, very competitive cost. OpenAI has a slightly cost, but it works most of the time. So OpenAI has that reliability that it's gonna work most of
mhm.
the time. Then there is a another thing like Gemini, Grok. They are like a very cheap model. They also host in a Grok, right? You can also host the open source LLMs as well. Like
So
the
even
one,
self-hosted.
yes, it's not self-hosted. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
Grok will host you all this open source model for you. So such as Grok will have their own version of Llama, or you can say DeepSeek, right? Again, this model, like they have released the weights of those models. So you can actually take those weights, host it yourself also. But hosting
Mm-hmm.
the LLM is actually very, very bad process in my opinion because you need a lot of computational power. You need an
Right.
interface engine at the same time to make sure that your LLM is
Mm-hmm.
generating text in very fastly, right? It's in a very
Right.
fast pace. Uh, Also, at the same time, you need a lot of expertise in understanding how to load this model and run this model on GPUs efficiently.
Yeah.
And
So.
if you're like
Mhm.
if you're
Complete,
like a
complete.
small t if you're like a small team, then doesn't make sense. So this Grok and everything, they offer this open source model as a hosted version. So they take care of hosting and they just give you the API out of those open source model. So even
Right.
let's say tomorrow, for a starting out purpose, you can start building on those APIs. And let's say you are like this big and you validated your use case, you can actually self-host those same models
Yeah.
yourself, and then you can work
Mhm.
on it.
So it is like while processing one request, right? LLMs burns like 1 or 2 liter water. Is it true?
No, I don't think so. It's while processing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's while training it for sure because
Mm-hmm.
training them takes a lot of computational power. It's a very, very expensive. Even it takes a lot of energy, a lot of computational power, and a lot of cooling effect to basically cool down those GPUs, right?
Right.
So it's a very expensive process at the same time.
Yeah. So can be possible like if we are doing some image processing like or image editing or like creating a Ghibli image, that time it may use some 1 liter of water.
I, yeah, you can say that. Like all these models, right? You can run it on
Right.
your GPU also. So if you have a GPU, right, you download
Mhm.
Olama yourself. There is like also Olama provider with a Prism also. So you can run all this open source model locally, right? And then locally the interference will happen. So if you have a GPU itself, you just download Olama, connect it with your Mac, and then you run that model locally, and then that model will respond you from locally. And I don't think that it's gonna take that 1 liter of water, to be honest. But yeah,
Right.
it's definitely it's a very costly process. It's gonna take a lot of
Mhm.
it's costly. I have seen
Yeah.
OpenAI bills almost of 50K per month. So I
Mhm.
know it's a very costly thing.
Right. Okay. So like where is the Gork or we can say Grok stand out in the AI things? I mean,
Grok
because
most Grok mostly stand out. It's from XAI. You are talking about Grok, or there is like two, the Grok with Q and the Grok with K.
ah okay, not Q, XAI. I mean.
Okay, so XAI, I think mostly shines. It's a good
Mhm.
model. It's also a general purpose model. The API pricing it's quite high in terms of all the other providers, in my opinion. Also, Grok it's very good in if you are doing any not safe for work things. Basically, if you are processing any explicit content or something like that, then Grok can work because Gemini and OpenAI has guardrails on what exactly you can generate it
Mhm.
from their
Mhm.
models.
Right. Right. So even like so like before few months or maybe I mean more than a 6 month ago there was one controversy, right? The Apple was banning X on Apple, right? App
Okay.
Store. I mean because of the free speech.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm.
So yeah,
So
I think someone asked a bit of a topic. Have you used train your own model in PHP using Rubrik's ML PHP package and how I can integrate
mm,
model into the PHP? So
please
these are the
Aniket.
two questions. Yes. Okay. So Aniket, the first thing is training my own model using Prism. PHP is a one separate thing, and integrating with a Prism is a separate thing. You can definitely integrate any of the LLM model into Prism. It's not limited to this. So in the Prism itself, there is a custom
Mm.
provider things. So let's suppose
Okay.
if there is a provider which is not available, right? You can actually use custom provider to integrate your own LLM provider which is not available anywhere else. You can extend the this interface which is a provider interface with your whatever provider. Let's say you have you are building your own open source package called YouTube. Okay, whatever LLM model, then you can just extend it. And then you can just add this three, four methods. The same way you extend the Laravel cache facade or Laravel mail facade, right? The same way you can actually extend it, use this into Prism. Now, I have not any trained any my own model using PHP myself. I again don't think the PHP is the right
Mhm.
way to train the model again, unless you are doing something very specific.
Mhm.
Because still feel that mostly the ecosystem on the training and the development side of the LLM is happening on the Python more.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if there are CUDA models or CUDA kernels which are supported to run PHP on the GPUs, right? So I'm still not
Mhm.
sure about the first part of the question.
So
I
yeah.
haven't mostly looked at that.
Mhm. So there was one package, right? You showed on the last stream, I think, or maybe on our one of the casual talk. You showed that package, right? Or
The
I showed that package, right?
which one?
To the PHP LLM model, something like that was. It was something like that. I don't even
PHP LLM.
remember.
See,
Hmm.
as far as I remember, I the rubrics ML, I have looked at this package, but I have never uh, worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure what exactly it does. Also, it's again the
Okay.
same way of what exactly they do it with Keras and the CNN basically. Basically, in Python ecosystem, there is a package called Keras, which used to build the convex CNN models yourself. So I think that
Right.
is a similar thing of what exactly you can build in the
Hmm.
PHP using rubrics ML. I'm still not sure. I'm just guessing that, to be
Right.
honest.
So there are also like two other similar packages which I just found by just googling it, like LL Font and PHP
Uh,
LLM,
so
LLM chain.
LLM font is also like you can say similar to Prism,
Hmm.
but Prism is only targeted to the Laravel.
Right.
LLM font is PHP wide. Again, LLM font, I will say LLM font also take cares of extra thing, which is such as how to store your like it also take cares of vector store and how you store the embeddings into the vector store. So there is the
Hmm.
extra thing LL font actually does for you.
Hmm. So
So yeah.
is it like complex to add that into the Prism or like
See, LL font is again same you can say a optional package to a Prism.
no, let me clear it. I mean the features which are missing from Prism and available in the LL font. I'm talking
Uh,
about that.
I will say I didn't want to say this, but we are gonna extend the Prism to add
Hmm.
as many feature and as much compatible with the entire LLM ecosystem. So
Hmm.
again, there can be chance that we will be releasing something around this where you don't even need to look for all this different LL PHP LL font or something like this. Out of the
Hmm.
box, will Prism will take care for you. So recently,
Hmm.
one step toward that was if you see there is a package thing called Relay, right? So
You
similar,
mean the MCP server stuff, right?
yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just quickly show you the tweet from TJ, who is a creator of Prism though.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just quickly show you that. Let me find it first.
Mm. Or maybe you can even open the Prism. There, we can find the relay as a package, or maybe repository. We can say.
Yeah, so this is a relay package we recently released. So what
Mm-hmm.
exactly does this? This actually extends Prism to integrate all your MCP tools directly into Prism. So let's suppose
Okay.
currently MCP has become such way of standardization in the industry where now OpenAI, Gemini, and Claude, Anthropic, which is like a three biggest AI providers right now, started supporting MCP out of the box. So now what you can do is you can bring your MCP schema. So let's suppose you have a MCP already. Where MCP is nothing but a you can say a specification of different types. Like you can say API has an open API specification, right? So the tools, right? Or let's suppose if you want to extend the functionality of LLMs to talk with different types of LLMs, right? That is something you can say MCP on a very high level. It's much more that. But basically, you
Mm-hmm.
can if you have a MCP, then you can just connect that MCP with your
Right.
Prism, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
interact with all these different
So
services.
yeah, is it compatible with the open source MCP from the GitHub
Open
Copilot?
source.
GitHub Copilot.
No, it's
This.
so this is a MCP client implementation. So
Mm-hmm.
Prism is gonna be your client. So let's suppose the way Cursor implements Prism, right? So with Cursor or maybe VS Code, you can actually connect your MCPs. The same way with your Prism code, you can actually connect the
So
MCPs
yeah, so that is what I'm saying, that we have open source MCP server from GitHub Copilot, right? They recently released it.
with from
Before
the
few,
from a GitHub.
yeah, GitHub
Yeah.
Copilot.
Okay.
2-3 days ago, or maybe I think a week ago, they released
You're
it.
talk
So you can,
you can talking about this.
I cannot see that. Actually, it's in
One
the
minute.
different display. Yeah,
This one.
I'm not sure. It can be, but yeah,
Yeah, so
they.
this is like a MCP server to talk with your GitHub basically. So let's suppose
Mm,
you can ask your uh, LLMs to do something on directly on the GitHub itself. So let's say LLM doesn't have a real-time information. So you connect your this GitHub MCP server with your LLM or any
Mm-hmm.
set of clients. You cannot connect it direct with the LLM. You have to
Okay.
connect it with the clients. Client can be your ChatGPT client, Anthropic client, Cursor, VS Code. In this case,
Yes.
Prism. Now,
Right.
once you connected it, you just ask that, can you list down the repos in my repository? This
Right.
repository. Then
Right.
LLM will think that I have to do this list down process. Do I have
Mm-hmm.
anything related to that? It will see you already have a GitHub MCP, but using which you can actually browse the different types of LLM, sorry, different types of
Right.
repository. And
Repositories.
from there, it will go and gonna get that information for you and then gonna give you in the chat response.
Mhm.
So that's how it's
So
gonna go.
is it insecure in any way? I mean,
It's not insecure. It's mostly runs locally, right? So whenever you run this
okay.
cursor,
Mm-hmm.
again there are no authentication protocol. There is still
Mm-hmm.
debate in the eco community that around MCP there is no good authentication protocol, right? Let's say currently it's like you have to hard code your API key or something, and then it will work. Currently you have to do that way, but it's a always evolving protocol. So coming in a days they will also gonna focus on how to solve this authentication problem
They
where
should.
people will have their MCP of authentication
So
and they
like,
can just click a access or
hmm.
something like that, like a
So
OAuth.
that means if I got any wrong client, right? I mean, that can be like theft for me in the future. I mean,
Yeah, so if you are exposing your API key using wrong client, then you can be a problematic thing. Uh, so again there can be a I think the best OAuth is the I think best authentication protocol to share this information. I think if
mm-hmm.
MCP kind of implement this right, it's gonna be a game changer for us. Like I'm not sure how they're gonna integrate this, but if let's say some way, whenever let's say if you want to give access to your GitHub repository,
Mm-hmm.
in such way you can give it via MCP OAuth. Currently, you have to hard code your API keys or you have to provide your API keys some way, or maybe
Right.
you have to be a GitHub apps and then the user of your application needs to install the GitHub app.
Asif is saying something. Like in simple terms, MCP is a way to let an AI, like OpenAI, to talk to other tools or systems to get information and perform
Exactly,
actions. Right.
exactly. I
Mm-hmm.
think Asif summarized it in quite a bit well.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's just giving you a generalized way. Like Prism is giving you a unified way. Same way, MCP is giving you a unified way to connect with different tools. So always, like let's say you don't have to always build a different schema or let's say a different description or something different way of defining a tools to your LLM. It's gonna make it very simple for you. That's what
Right.
exactly MCP is doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I will just show you quickly. This is the tweet by TJ.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's a tree structure of the Prism package where currently we have released Prism and Relay, and there are many packages which are going to come to you very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So just
Right.
stay tuned for
So
that.
okay, so we can guess the package name from the length of the blur blurriness, like what we did in like when Taylor released some stuff with related to inertia too, right? There
Yes.
was some blurry thing. Even like if there was one first alphabet was shown or last alphabet shown, that was much more mysterious or maybe curious stuff, right?
I will tell you, I know what exactly is being worked on, but it's gonna be a very cool thing. I think
Hmm.
it's gonna be the complete LLM ecosystem bring to the
Right.
Laravel. So you can do
So
all sort of things with LLM, which you can do with the Python and Node.js ecosystem, by the way.
it's kind of a big release which can be done on the Laracon stage.
Yep, I think so. I think so. Let's hope for the
He
best and
he's the speaker,
hopefully,
right?
Yes, hopefully we will all get to see all these goodies. It's
Mm,
gonna be a very crazy thing whenever it's gonna be released. I think after that, Laravel is gonna be the best. It's already the best framework. It's gonna be the
mm,
10x based framework once
mm.
integrating LLMs.
Yeah, it's already 10x, so I don't know. It is kind of infinite into infinite.
Yeah, you can say that. It's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best
Framework
developer
for AI.
experience. Yeah,
For AI.
experience possible. Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah, coming to the Prism back again. We have like diverted quite a bit from Prism though. So Prism, it's a very simple thing. It's a Laravel cache facade. Instead of cache facade, you are using some kind of a AI facade where you just
Mm.
see I want to use this model and I now do this completion for me. So let's just dive into right into it. Let's say okay.
Mm.
So let me I have installed a fresh Laravel Vue.js package. I haven't changed any single thing on that.
Mm. So we are not moving to React.
Yeah, not yet. So let me just quickly
Mm.
share my complete screen.
Mm.
So I hope my screen is visible though.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm just gonna follow the instruction as I always do from the docs itself.
Let me tell you, you can close it. The pop-up. It the pop-up you can see. No,
Yep.
not. Yeah, you stopped sharing screen.
Oh, is it? My bad.
There was a hide and close button. So yeah, uh,
Hide.
yeah,
And
and
this,
close. Yeah, cool.
the screen is
Uh,
still visible, guys,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's visible.
So I have installed like a very fresh Laravel package just now only. Nothing, there
Mm,
is nothing else. I have only just added my API key of the Gemini so that we don't accidentally expose our API key and no one
right.
is able to use that API key.
Open your
So,
env file.
so I'm just gonna quickly install the Prism package the way it has mentioned into
Hmm.
the docs. Composer required Prism PHP slash
Hmm.
Prism. And
It's good you are
we're
not
just
using
gonna,
Windows.
yes. So
Otherwise, it will take.
otherwise Nuno will have basically trolled us.
No, like see in Windows, auto loading takes too much time. I mean.
Okay. So now you see this is like a Prism PHP configuration, how it looks like.
Mhm. Okay, so it takes data
Let
from
me
the env. Okay, it's a config file. Yeah, it's a Laravel config file. So yeah, got it.
exactly. So
Hmm.
so basically there are a lot of providers. You can see the provider list I already showed you. Like you can configure the API keys for them. You can add
Hmm.
you if you are using some kind of a
So,
URL, then you can just
mm,
change the URL as well.
right. So Gemini has a free version as well for LLM
Yes, Gemini out of the box supports free Gemini.
API key. You are supposed to show API key. uh,
So if I go to
okay.
the studio, the rate
Hmm.
limits for Gemini Studio is, see, the free of charge, 15 requests per minute, though you
Hmm.
can pass this many tokens, and these are
So
the
yeah, it still allows
outputs.
1 million token for free. Oh, sorry. Is it
It's
1 million or
it's
100?
it's I
Okay.
think 1 million. No, it's
Yeah.
100K. No, it's 1000K. So it's basically
1 million. No, no.
1 million.
It's right. So yeah, 1 million.
Yeah.
I'm good at it, yeah. I mean, you see six zeros, 1 million. That's it.
Yeah, there is like this light also, pro also. So you have different rate limits for free of charge.
Hmm.
And then after
Right.
the limits you cross, there is like this paid thing.
4 million. Hmm. Good.
This is per minute tokens. It's not context length.
Okay. Oh, got it. So
So
yeah.
this is how many tokens you can pass and get output in per minute.
So we are even not gonna cross that in a
Yeah,
half hour.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So I
Yeah.
have installed Prism. I have already enabled the, I already, as mentioned, I already added a .env key for it. But let's do
Hmm.
one thing. uh, here when I will come here, I will just instead of this, I will just see how exactly
Mm-hmm.
text generation. Text generation is the basic building block of any of LLM apps.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you do want to do something called as a whatever you do on a chat GPT, right? Rewrite this or give me this, right? You can do all these things with a basic text generation. So if I'm just gonna copy it,
Mm.
I'm just gonna put this on top. Here, instead of
Right.
Anthropic, I'm gonna use Gemini, and Gemini
Oh, okay.
1.5, I'm gonna
So
use
you already
2.5.
defined like that into config. Still, you need to like tell them like what you want to use.
We haven't told that what is the default model, and currently
Okay.
there is no way we can define a default model. Like
Uh-huh.
you always have to
Okay.
pass this. I think this is a very good feature request where you can define like a
Default.
default provider and the model which you
Hmm.
want to use.
So
But
it gonna be simple like every other thing like define a static property and
yeah,
hmm.
basically you have to add something over here like a default or something default true where
But
it will be
see,
using that model.
yeah, in modern Laravel stuff, like people not using config for this kind of stuff. They are just doing it into the app service provider or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
you can
Yeah,
do that as well. Or maybe
yeah,
Prism app service provider can
yeah,
rewrite
that
that.
also. Hmm.
So I will just change it here something instead of tell me a story about Laravel, or maybe let's say short poem. How about
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
How Taylor created Laravel? Hmm.
how
About or maybe poem on, right? Mm.
okay.
Mm.
And
Yeah, let's
this
see.
is very simple API, right? You are mentioning this. This is a JPNI.
Gemini,
This is
right?
a model which I wanted to use. The prompt is tell me a short poem about how Taylor created a Laravel, and you are just
Mm.
mentioning as text. Text is way
Yeah,
to say that this is a text response. So it is gonna be a synchronous. It's not gonna be a synchronous thing. So it's gonna send the
mm.
request to the Gemini provider. Gemini provider is gonna like process that request and
Right,
then gonna send you the response at the end of it.
right. So it can take like more than 5 second, 10 second as well, right? Like I mean,
It's not guaranteed. So it can take one
mm-hmm.
second, depends on your request, depends on your tokens, depends on your what exactly you are asking it to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many
So
parameters.
yeah, so
So
that's why we use streaming. So user cannot be bold, right? Kinda.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we will also see the streaming part if we get the time though. So if I
Mm-hmm.
open this, you see when I dump die this, we get a Prism text response. So same way,
Mm-hmm.
when we send the request, we have to send this in a unified way, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is like a very unified way of sending the request. This as text
Right,
is nothing but a Prism response. And Prism response is also nothing but a unified way of interacting with the different responses of all these
right, right.
different LLMs. So out of the box, you can see there is how many steps it has done. So in this
Mm-hmm.
case, it has done, let's say, one step only because it's a very simple thing to generate a poem. It doesn't need to do any sort of function calling or all that stuff. So it's just one step.
Mm-hmm.
After that, what is the response messages? Response messages are also gonna be the like object of that entire message. Then there is a text, what exactly has been generated back. Then
Mm-hmm.
what exactly the finish is. And so sometimes you have to identify what exactly is the finish is. And this can be tool call, function call, or stop by LLM. Some it can be differed by provider to provider. Then we are not using any tool calls, we are not using any tool result. How much token we have used? Currently, we have used only 12 tokens and 120 completion tokens, which is like an output
Mm-hmm.
token, basically.
Right.
And
So
if
so
we have used any cache or cache write
mhm.
tokens or read tokens also.
Right.
So yeah.
So yeah, prompt tokens and the completion tokens will be counted, right? Both will be counted, or
So it's again pricing mostly depends on input token. So see,
mm-hmm.
you see here the price for input is 0.10 dollar, like basically 1 cent for, sorry, 10 cents for input
Right.
and 70 cents for output.
Right.
Sorry, this
No,
one.
no, audio.
Sorry,
It's
sorry.
audio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 cents for output
Yeah.
for per million tokens, like 1 million tokens. Currently, we have only used 120 output tokens, and
And that is even into the like free tire.
yeah, that's already is covered by the free tier. So
Hmm.
so you see how easy to start working with LLM. So here it has given us a poem like in codes of embrace a vision bright, tailors with passion filled with night. Again, you can ask.
Frustrated. He was
he built a
frustrated.
he built a
Yeah.
framework sleek and bold, Laravel magic to be told with artisan commands, a gentle hand. He
Right.
crafted beauty across the land.
So
So
okay. Okay. That was a cool thing. But is it like the Prism have anything to have like predefined prompts or something like that? Like,
here, now I will
I
tell
mean,
you
mhm,
concept of system prompts. So system prompts, if you just go to
mhm,
the next section of this
mhm,
fix. So system prompt is nothing but a way to configure your behavior for your LLM model. So let's say when you go to OpenAI, right? By default, if you open or add
mhm,
something to OpenAI, if you ask who are you, it's gonna send I am a OpenAI, I am a ChatGPT
mhm.
model by OpenAI, something like this, right? And there is a very big system prompt which they put it. System prompt is nothing but a way to tell LLM that how your behavior should look like. So
Right.
OpenAI currently doesn't open source its system prompt. Anthropic does it though. So
Okay.
Anthropic
So
system.
even it will be depends on the models and the providers you are using. Hmm.
Exactly. So see, for 3.7 Sonnet, this is a system prompt. This is assistant is Claude created by Anthropic. The current date is whatever the current date is, it's gonna be include that every single transaction. Claude
Hmm.
enjoys helping humans and see it roles as an intelligent and kind assistant to people.
So yeah,
And you see, there is like every time
mhm,
you have a conversation with Claude, this entire thing is actually appended on top of your history, and then it's gonna send to LLM.
mhm. So like more you
So it
define your like more you define how model your model should work, the more tokens will you use, right?
exactly, and this way you can actually change the model behavior as well. So if I show you, right, currently
Hmm.
even though we are using the Chat GPT, oh sorry, Gemini model, right?
Hmm.
I'm just gonna put this. So there is a way you can also use a blade file.
Okay, the response gonna be changed.
Yes, it's gonna be changed.
Okay,
So let me.
wait. So Mohammed was saying that tweet the poem.
Sure, we can.
So but we need to remove the slash and uh,
Let's see if
hmm, yeah. So go to the VS Code or cursor. Just do right. You can remove that. Remove new lines online. Wow. uh, okay, I don't think that gonna work. Hmm. No, slashes are
is
not new line for it. So what I'm saying is just open maybe VS Code. Oh yeah, here. Just here, paste it over here. And oh, you are trying another tool. I don't think that's gonna work. I mean,
it?
you can just
Okay.
you can paste it over here, right? And select the slash and just replace it by space. That's it.
Yeah, I can do that for sure.
Mm, okay. Hmm. Okay. I think I think you should also go back and do some like CMD tab or maybe shift tab to
It
okay, it's
done.
already
It's already.
formatted. Yeah, that's cool. Generated by Prism package. For Laravel. Hmm. Hmm. Mohammed, you need to retweet it, right? Yeah, let's go. On stream, write it on stream. What do you say? Oh,
Sure.
mm. And then you can provide the stream link into the comment. Oh, I need to share the link. The link. I mean, it is. Let me share you.
So now if I just let me just change the prompt quickly.
Yeah, you
Let
can
me
do that.
let me say, who are you? If I'm not passing any system prompt here, if I just
Hmm.
run this,
Hmm.
currently I'm
Right.
a large
I'm large
language
model.
model trained by Google. This is the output. Okay. Now, if I add with system prompt, also the good thing
Mhm.
with Prism is for managing the prompts, you can actually use a blade also. So if you just need to pass view system prompt, here you go to resources, views, just add maybe let's say folder called prompts. Okay. And then inside that, you add a claude.blade.php. Here we are just gonna basically paste the same prompt which we got from Anthropic though. Uh, okay.
Hmm.
And the current date and time, I'm just gonna
Eh,
hard code
It's a
it
blade
or
file, right? So you can just
yes,
do date now. Right.
yes,
YMD.
exactly.
Hmm.
Or anything. Let's say I'm just so you get the gist, right? You can do the templating directly into the prompt
That's
like
good.
blade itself, which is very cool by the way, because the blade is one of the coolest templating language out there. Now
Right.
if I run this and I've just dumped the text property over here, let's see what
Hmm.
exactly the response is. I hope the token limit doesn't get exhausted though.
No, no, it cannot be. I mean,
Yes, see, I'm a Claude A, an AI assistant created by Anthropic. I strive to be intelligent. And now you see, this is how we have exactly changed the entire thing just by changing the system prompt. Even though we are still using the Gemini
same.
2.0 Flash,
Hmm. But he is saying
still we
I'm
are
Claude.
exactly because we are able to change the behavior of your LLM model using this system
Right.
prompt.
Right. It's nice. So it is like you
So
copied this from the cloud website, right? Okay.
yeah, they have open sourced the entire system prompts of their all models. So you if you want to see right what prompt they want are using behind the scenes, you can actually see this. And also let me ask the same question now. Who are you and what is the date today?
Hmm.
Okay. Currently,
Okay.
actually LLM should not have this information by default. But if I run this,
Hmm.
today
The
is
date.
April 12, 2025.
Okay. So what if you like remove those instructions?
So let's suppose if I remove this instruction, right?
Even
Let's
like you
say
can comment that. Yeah. Yeah.
I just commented out this. See,
Okay. So
I'm large
the
language model
last date
created
it
by.
was the last date it was trained probably,
Yes,
right?
it was October 26, 2023.
Wow. So we are
So now you see,
far behind.
using system prompt, you can actually change the behavior of your LLM. It
Hmm.
opens lot much more possibilities now. You can ask your LLM to do any sort of
Right.
role playing, any sort of let's say assistant kind of thing. Let's say you can ask in the system term that you are a good programmer in Laravel and you are like a very good refactor. Whenever someone asks you to
Yeah.
refactor this, always keep
So
all those
right.
things in mind.
You can also say that you know hold the docs of the Lara. Lara.
Yeah, or even sometimes what you can do if Laravel docs is pretty big, you can't basically hard code that into system prompt. Let's say if you have a very small something, right? Let's say cursor rules, right? Whenever you pass cursor rules, you pass some kind of a rules, right? You can pass all those rules over there into your system prompt, and then you can just talk with your models itself.
Hmm.
So here, if I just change here instead of you say this is assistant is Claude, right? This assistant is Punyapal.
Hmm.
and I'm just change entire
Let's
replace with
keep it.
Claude with.
Let's see what happens. Let keep it. Let's keep it.
Let me, yeah, see, let's say I the
Hmm.
system. Okay, do you want to see if like I just change first line and
Huh. So
okay, but it's just gonna hallucinate. It's not gonna do something weird though. And if I ask
hmm.
it like, who are you and what is your date day?
Hmm.
I'm Punyapal. I'm an AI assistant created by Anthropic. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's again you
It's
can't
like
predict the LLM behavior. That's
yeah.
something you have to be very much sure. Like
So
you
no,
can never
yeah,
predict the LLM
right.
behavior.
Actually, I was aware of it because I tried it some like time ago that uh, it will follow your first line and it will understand that you done some typos afterwards.
Right. Right. It's
Yeah.
like someone has done a good side project. Like you can also use LLM to do the text spell or the like grammar correction. Basically, LLM are very good in terms of understanding what you have typed. So even if you add some kind of a spelling mistake, right? LLM can
hmm
understand it behind the scenes what exactly you mean because it has the context of previous things also.
Right.
So it was a very good project. So you can just type it and it gonna come like fix the spelling mistake.
Right. Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Now this is like
Uh,
a changing the behavior of your system. Now what do you think? What should we explore after this?
hmm.
Should we explore the function calling, which I think very cool?
The function calling is something like so whenever you don't have any results from the LLM, you can call the function. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. It's
Hmm.
works like that. So let's say all the real-time information. LLM will always have the information it's being trained on.
hmm
Now let's suppose if you want to give the information that who is Punyapal. Let's say we ask Google Gemini that who is
hmm
Punyapal. Let's say I'm just gonna remove this front and just ask is
I'm scared
who
now.
is Punya. Yeah,
Punjabal Shah,
Punyapal.
I think.
Sure.
Uh,
Shah
Yeah,
from Laravel.
Shash, no, not Shash. Yeah, no need to write Laravel, I guess. It's cool. Even if you write MR Punyapal, it will be me only, I guess. So yeah. Hmm.
See, Punya, I didn't basically whatever the data it has at the time of creating it, right? Punyapal Shah is a prominent figure in the Indian real estate industry. He's the chairman and managing director of Srinaman Group.
Wow.
So that's it. So basically, if I
Okay.
ask myself, also, let me see, I haven't never tried this
You will have like lots of Pushpak Chazed. No?
because my name is very unique, right? I think so.
Lol. Based on knowledge. What? Why he is still talking about myself? Okay, now
I
uh
think yeah, based on my knowledge,
fa-
Pushpa Chalad is an entrepreneur.
shop
See,
kirana.
it just hallucinates. It hallucinates the information. I'm telling you, it's just
You have a
hallucinate the
side
information
businesses.
widely.
Mohammed is saying you have a side businesses. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it if it doesn't have the information, it's gonna hallucinate. It's gonna
Hmm.
say its job is to predict the
Hmm.
next word. So whatever the
Try
next word
try
he can predict,
yeah, try Mr. Punepal. Even like in 2023, 2022, I wasn't exist on the internet. I mean, no, no, not like that. My username, I mean, remove Shah, remove dot, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even like, yeah. So even maybe that can work. I don't know. Yeah. Twitch streamer, YouTuber, and Twitch streamer. He knows about me of today. I mean,
so
uh,
see it hallucinated. Mr.
hallucinating. Yeah,
Punyapal
right.
is a Polish popular YouTuber,
Yeah.
and then he's saying that he's playing a first-person shooters and strategy game.
Maybe.
So now the way to extend it, let me just see what exactly is the chat.
Hmm.
Okay. So way to extend it, right? So LLM doesn't have a real-time information. So let's say you have to give that real-time information. So currently, you can give access to, let's say, you go every single time someone asks you, search on internet what exactly it is, and then based on the result, give the real response.
Mm-hmm.
So now this search thing, right? How it will know that I need to search when someone asks me for the real-time information, or whenever someone asks me about the information which doesn't exist in the LLM knowledge.
Right.
So that where the tool calling comes in. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
you ask LLM, what is the weather today? I just ask it, what is the weather in Bangalore? So now, based on the training data, it will just say me, it will give me the result. See,
I'm
I am
sorry.
sorry, I don't have current
See.
time. See, in this case, it just basically told us that I don't have a real-time information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I need to change the behavior of this, I can mention in the system prompt that whenever someone asks you for any real-time information, if they ask for weather specifically, then call the get weather tool. Okay, okay. Let me just do that.
So will it
So
be in the like system prompt or like the normal?
you can put it anywhere, but ideal way
Mm-hmm.
of putting this is a system prompt.
Mm-hmm.
LLM is gonna see it. LLM first gonna check your system prompt. Based on this, it's gonna check first message, and then based on that, all the information it's gonna predict the next output based on what you have asked.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you can define tool in the Prism is this way. Basically, there is a facade called tool. This is again you can say a kind of MCP where you get a unified way of defining the tools.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the model control protocol specification is a
So
different.
this tool is from Prism. Hmm.
Yes,
Okay, yeah,
it's
I
from
can see
Prism
that.
package
Yeah.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now
As
I
weather.
have defined this weather tool, and where if
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pass this here with tools, weather tools.
So like how is it calling a API or something like that, or I don't know. So it is just
So
saying that. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
ideally, when you're gonna implement this on a real time, real world,
Mm-hmm.
you have to call
Okay.
some kind of
Uh,
API over here.
so I hope we will have some free weather APIs. Can you Google it? Let you try to use that. Hmm. They are saying key, but where we will put that key? Free weather API key. Hmm.
I'm not sure current weather or forecast is the free one though,
There was one, I guess.
but we want lat and longitude for that.
Hmm.
What we can do to make this city wise, like literally let me just switch quickly.
Let me ask ChatGPT as well, or Grok as well. I mean. Hmm.
Yeah, we can, but let me just quickly check the API weather data for anytime weather overview, current weather data. Isn't it dependent on the city though? You should be dependent on city. How I'm supposed to get the lat long? Let me just quickly check it something. What is a lat longitude? If okay, let me just see quickly if LLM has that information. See, I think so. We can actually use this API. LLM has
Hmm.
this information already, so they can while calling a tool, they can actually
Right.
pass this.
Okay.
So we're gonna call HTTP.
Hmm. API app. How you find the app ID?
I think we have to create some kind of app.
There is
I'm not sure
already
if
app ID.
I think I
L-
already have account on this. Let me just quickly check it.
Now, what I'm saying, how we got a
No,
app ID? Hmm.
let me
Oh,
just delete all these keys because it's not gonna make sense. We are accidentally,
hmm.
but
Laravel
we I'm
Bangalore.
don't worry. Don't worry, I'm gonna delete this to be honest.
Oh,
So this is the key.
right.
Let me just add it over here. Okay. Now where
Hmm.
is my app ID though?
App keys. App key is app ID? No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So have you created app before? I mean, the API itself.
Let me see that.
Hmm. Let's ask Grok.
I'm still not sure how exactly is their API. Sign up on open and go to the pricing page, billing plans. Okay. How to make an API call. Okay,
Hmm.
app ID is nothing but a API key itself. Okay. Okay, so this is directly a
So, like, how you gonna get lat long or do we don't need that?
I don't think so. I think it's 2.5 whether APIs directly have a city
They will
or
guess from a IP, I guess.
yeah, let me
Hmm.
just call it. It is a post call or is
It
it a
it will
post
be a get
call?
call for sure. It will be a get call for sure. I think
Okay,
because
latitude,
I mean
longitude.
you are yeah you are getting the data. So we need to call it. I think before putting it into the LLM itself. So I
Yeah,
mean
1 minute. We're gonna call it just 1 second.
yeah,
Latitude
no
to
problem. No
get a
no no
weather
problem.
condition
No
for a
problem at all.
city.
No
Uh,
problem. Hmm.
here instead of lat, okay, and exclude I don't know, and app ID I have to add it. Or what is our API key?
Hmm. API.weather.gov is also there, right? I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Currently, we are using open weather, right?
Hmm.
And
That's
then
that.
the weather, the weather in okay, the data current weather and the data is so.
Hmm.
What is this, man? This is the worst API service I have seen.
You already
What
used
is?
it.
Yeah, I have used it when I was in college.
Hmm. Okay. There was a Laravel Bangalore or something like that.
So I created it, but I never used it.
Hmm. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I think the better will be you use a weather government API, something like that. But we will still need a lat long.
Where is that? This one?
It is something like api.weather.gov.
Let me just ask cursor to autocomplete this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Because it works without uh,
let's ask. Let me build it as an agent. So I think
hmm.
if it works, right? It's gonna work, right? Let me just quickly get all
you're,
this.
think, you're thinking to trust AI.
Yeah, we have vibe coding,
Hmm.
right? You have to trust.
Yeah. Vibe coding. No, it's a vulnerability addition, something like that. The
but
joke was there. I don't know. I
we
don't remember.
verified it, right?
Mm. Yeah, we should verify it. I don't do vibe coding, so I mean you are doing vibe coding from a long, I guess, right?
Yep. Can you
Hmm.
please provide the latitude and longitude for Bangalore? So let me do that quickly. Bangalore latitude and longitude.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wow. So what?
And here instead of adding text, we just add that. So I'm just gonna call the what is the weather in Bangalore, pass the latitude and longitude. This is a weather tool. Here we are mentioning in the weather tool that the parameter for this is one is latitude and another one is longitude.
Hmm.
So whenever
So yeah.
API is gonna, the LLM is gonna
See,
call this tool, it's gonna pass this
hello.
as a
Hmm.
hello.
What I was
Sorry,
saying is, yeah, sorry. What
yeah.
I was saying is, run that before passing it into the LLM. I mean,
Okay, so you mean run this.
just copy this without let line.
Let me just copy that.
Mm, mm, gonna be tricky though.
Yeah.
You need to remove inverted commas and all. Yeah.
Please note that using one call
Well,
requires a separate structure and one call pipeline. If you have valid subscription, okay. So we don't have subscription.
say bye bye to it. Um, Go to the weather API. I mean, what I am
This one?
saying is, I added it into the chat. So check the chat.
Oh, okay. So
No need for API key. Nothing. Maybe there will be a rate limiting, but yeah, who
yeah,
cares?
now let's see.
Hmm. Wow. I never used cursor or never seen someone using cursor.
Okay. So it's gonna change this entire open weather app with
It will take. Oh, it is slower than me, I guess.
so here it
I'm
changed
much
the
fast.
I failed to prepare pointer once it has it's gonna do all those things.
just 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 undo it. Just copy paste that URL. I mean,
This one,
is
right?
it?
We tasted it,
Uh,
right?
yeah. I mean,
So
it will get data from this automatically, right? No.
let's try it. Let's try it. Even I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Hopefully this API works. And
Hmm.
if I reworked it, it worked. The text is not there, but it mentioned that. Oh, okay. Sorry. We also have to pass. Whenever you call tool call, right? You also have to pass with max steps because
Max
steps.
steps. Oh, okay.
So,
So.
so basically, will tool call, right? What happens is you send LLM that this is a tool call. You have to explain. Now LLM is gonna send that. Okay, now I want to execute this tool call. It's gonna send you response that now if you basically look at the result, basically it asks that I want to do the tool call.
Hmm.
Tool call for this weather API and the arguments for that function is this minus 122.33 and 47.61, which is nothing but the one we passed in the code.
Yeah.
And
So 54. Oh my gosh. Fahrenheit.
yeah, it's Fahrenheit. So it finish reason in this case instead of stop, it was called tool calls.
Ask in Celsius. What is it? Like, or okay, you need to do it by yourself only. So you cannot provide some data and the LLM will try to do that, or like I mean, try to guess data from it. I mean, the correct sentence or something like that, or while using the tool.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So whenever you have to do, you have to pass this with max steps. So
Mm-hmm.
once it's gonna generate the tool function, so in this case, it
Mm-hmm.
generated the tool result. The tool result
Right.
is the weather at latitude is this, and slight chance of rain showers at temperature 44, 54
Mm-hmm.
Fahrenheit. Now this
Mm.
output is gonna send back again to the LLM, and then
Okay.
LLM is gonna based on that it's gonna generate the response back. So it's like one step is a tool call, then second
Mm-hmm.
time it generate the output. So currently
Okay.
it's only one step. If you see the steps, it's only one, right?
Right.
But
So we've yeah we
if I
already done the 10. Mm-hmm.
with if I pass it with max steps 10, then it's just look at it. Now there will be also text, and the
Yeah.
step is two because the first step
Mm-hmm.
was to generate
Right.
the
Right.
LLM response, and the second
So
step was to
so
generate the
now so now you can ask it into the Celsius as well, right? Without
yes,
without changing the tool.
yes. I think let's try it. Why not
Mm-hmm.
in Celsius?
Mm-hmm. Like
Okay,
so it will be I don't know what will be.
I cannot convert this to Celsius though because
Hmm.
the API which we are using, I don't think so. They have this in a Celsius. I'm not sure.
Really don't know. Even I didn't understood it.
Let me just do it.
Temperature unit is from them. Temperature unit. The temperature unit is from API. So you are
Yeah.
doing that.
I think they are always sending the temperature in the Fahrenheit, so we have to do
So
this manually.
see what you like told us is that LLM like in the second step the data will be sent to the LLM, right?
Hmm.
So LLM should be able to convert it. No.
Again, ideally, yes. Let's say if we just do it, if I just remove it,
Mm,
okay, I remove the max diff. I just ask, what is the weather in Bangalore?
mm,
Okay, weather in Bangalore is 52 degree Fahrenheit. Can you convert it
mm.
into Celsius? Let's ask what
That,
happens.
I think that it can do. I mean, 11 says so. The weather is good in the Bangalore. I mean, we.
No, no, no. I think it asked for Seattle. So if I okay now let's ask same thing.
Mm,
Bangalore,
mm, uh,
please give the temperature
convert.
in Celsius
Yeah,
based on the tool call result. So basically all this instruction should be go into the system prompt,
yeah. It's okay, but I think.
right? And you can ask the
Mm-hmm.
conversation formula also, like what exactly the conversation formula it needs to follow. Now if I run this,
Mm. Go.
I couldn't retrieve the weather forecast location.
You are already providing it into the Celsius.
1 minute. Let us take if this is working though first.
Mm,
And or only this is only for the US though. Data is
mm.
unavailable for that
So
part.
you
I
just
think
trusted on AI.
yes. So what is the weather in New York?
Bangalore.
Let's try
Wow.
it. Let's try the New York.
Like so, you don't even now need to know all the lat longs.
Yeah,
You need to copy paste those lat longs into the
it
API or
it correctly came up over here.
yeah. So go ahead
If
then.
I, if I run this, I think it should work though.
We need to check. Hmm.
No, it didn't work.
So what is the issue? I mean, is it comma right? It should be comma right? Points comma. Oh,
Again,
not
it's
available. Why don't you just I think copy? Okay,
no, it's
lat
not
long
working.
lot lang
So I
invalid
think all
point. Invalid point. Okay, okay, I got it. I got it. Just remove last two digit from both the. Yeah, hopefully. No, not
No,
working.
no.
Why those are not working? I mean,
In this case, something we will have something, I guess.
oh,
No,
hmm. So why? Just I think the 74 should be on first. It is
yeah,
north and west. Lat and long is north and west. Yeah, something
yeah. That's
is
how lat.
no.
That's
No
how lat.
what happened? Yeah, one comma
No,
invalid.
it's even not for 74. I think it the weather API which you said, right? It's only work for that Seattle thing.
Hmm? No, no.
I think it's only work for that Seattle thing though.
Go. Hmm. Yeah. Let comma lan. Just copy that URL, man. Yeah, same. It's minus and it also see it has which time zone it is or do we have any name of the city country something like that?
Seattle. It's Seattle. Washington.
Okay, Colombia. Hmm. USA.
So
It's of just US only or something like that. You mean?
I think so. Or maybe it's only for the Washington. I'm not
No,
sure
no.
how this.
They cannot have the like api.weather.gov URL, right? It should be gov.us.
Not sure. So three new
Hmm.
messages we have. I'm not
Just
sure.
copy this. Just copy this lat long and ask about what function. Whatever.
Yeah. In Washington, DC. Oh, it corrected, auto corrected. But with, I think minus. And now let's check the weather in Washington though.
Yeah. But you guys actually provide tell 10, 11. It's fine, I guess. 11 is there also. So it is
Yeah,
like some cities it will be 11, some cities it will be 7.
yeah, it's
No,
like
see. Yeah. Okay.
it's dependent on time to time. So yeah.
Hmm. So okay, that was cool. I think. Hmm.
So now you understand how this tool calling
But
works.
I think you have done one problem in the code. So just go into the code. You are already converting into the Celsius.
Right.
So you need to uh, provide it into the Fahrenheit for that.
Like you are
Like
saying that instead of doing this directly into
yeah, just
Celsius, ask
uh,
LLM to do the.
yeah, the job. I mean, yeah,
Okay, let's try it. Not sure how it's gonna work though.
unit. Yeah. Hmm. So if it works,
I
no, I
cannot convert
cannot.
the temperature into the. Now let me try one thing. Let me
Hmm.
see with system
One more tool.
prompt. No, with system prompt.
Okay. System prompt you need to write whether.
Whenever someone asks you whether, always respond in Celsius
Yeah. Cool.
to the Fahrenheit to Celsius conversation before responding.
What was that? Is it reloading or hello? Are you there, Pushpak? Oh, is it me or you?
Okay, connection timed out. Let me rewrite again. Retry again. Oh, see,
Do
this
not.
time it did.
11.1 Celsius. It was good. Because the system prompt was the like a
So
best
basically,
place.
it's always of how it where the comes at the prompt
Mm,
engineering comes into the place.
so,
Basically, you have to change your
mhm,
output in a such way that you have to instruct the LLM to do this specific thing for you.
right. So what I'm saying is, or what I'm thinking is, LLM predicts stuff, but you cannot predict LLM.
Yes, LLM is a black box. You cannot predict the LLM output ever. So always
Mm.
you have to predict the LLM output. You have to change the behavior of LLM using system prompt.
Even after changing the behavior, it is not 100% accurate, right?
Yes, even after changing the behavior, it's not
Mm.
100%
Right.
accurate. Now I will show you one another cool thing, which is
Mm-hmm.
called as a structured output. Now we saw that LLM has all this information. Now let's ask the LLM to respond you in a specific way, like in a very structured way. So again, the structured output way, basically the tool call and structured output doesn't work together. So you have to use them separately. So if I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
show you whatever is the structure, right? I'm going to pass the output of the first request to the second, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to change this. I'm just going to.
Mm-hmm.
So from this output, let's say we want to get the city, we want to get the temperature, and we want to get uh, the unit. Okay. So in this case, we want to
City
say temperature
in Celsius.
for
City.
a city. Yeah, it's just a way of telling that
Sorry.
to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a structured temperature for a city. Now temperature
Mm.
value and
Mm.
new string semi unit, the unit of temperature. Okay,
Right.
always this you can mention that this is a required field. And now
Mm.
here with prompt, I'm just passing that this is a schema which I want. Here I'm just gonna change it to Gemini again, Gemini 2.0 flash. I'm just gonna use the output of the first response in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So response text. And for this one, I'm just gonna change it to response one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So response one's output is gonna pass to the another LLM, and LLM is gonna extract the data for us, the city temperature and unit data.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna diagram the second response. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand the flow now. So first we're gonna
Right.
fetch the weather in first request, gonna send that request back to the LLM in a second request, and then LLM will gonna get this specific thing extracted for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now if I
Let's
run
see.
this,
Oh, it is taking time.
so it give you a
JSON
JSON, but there is also a structured output. Structured output is nothing but
array.
the
Mm.
the properties which you mentioned on this. Here in
Mm-hmm.
this case, it's the city, temperature, and unit. You see, you now have a structured way. Now you can store this structured data into database, and you will always make sure that you will have this data. So
Mm-hmm.
opportunity is like literally endless. Like you can do all sort of things with this. Currently, it's a very, very basic example. Now let's suppose you are building a PDF
Mm-hmm.
processing app. You upload a PDF, you remove all this kind of you can extract all these things. You can, in a structured way, you can store that in the database. And now then you can
Mm-hmm.
do all sort of chats and everything on top of that.
Right. So see, what I understood is uh, that see if cloud was able to auto complete the lat long, right?
Hmm.
So
I
the
think I think let's try one thing.
mm,
Okay, here if I remove the lat long, you are
mm,
giving a location and you need to weather condition. Okay, let me just add also one extra example. Whenever
mm,
you call get weather tool, you need to pass the latitude and longitude of the location. If you don't have latitude, you need to ask the user to provide the latitude and longitude of the location.
No, no,
Okay?
no, 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 no. You don't need to ask user.
Okay.
It will gonna ask only.
Yeah.
Hmm. Even
Don't,
no,
yeah,
no, no,
don't ever ask.
no, no, no. Even like that is not even required. Just say that if you don't have a, I mean, hmm,
Okay, let's
see,
try this.
see, this will gonna say, I sorry, I cannot. See, the output will be. I can predict now. The output will be that sorry, I cannot find. Kind
Let's
of.
try it now.
Yeah, of course.
I'm changing the Seattle instead of Washington, it's Seattle now. Now, in this
Hmm.
case, it's unknown, unknown, unknown because it can fail the first step. So let me
Hmm.
diagram the response context first. Sorry,
Sorry,
I
I don't
don't
have
have the
a.
latitude.
See
Okay.
what I, that is what I was saying. Just remove that all stuff. If you don't have to, everything. I mean, you- I think one more sentence. Okay, even that as well.
But ask
Remove
for it.
last two sentence. Remove last
Just
two sentence. No, no. Remove last two sentence and all will be good. I mean, yeah, this and I think yeah, but just like this. I think I haven't read a whole sentence, but yeah. Hmm.
now
See,
see the we are,
see.
so this works.
So don't give any instruction which can make the LLM lazy.
So now if I run this, you have
Hmm.
the LLM extracted in
In
a
a
structured
Fahrenheit,
way.
in a Fahrenheit. Yeah,
Right.
that's okay. Even that's okay. Even that even okay. I mean, yeah, now ask for Bangalore.
I'm
It's
not
gonna
sure yet.
fail for sure. But yeah, Bangalore, India.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just pretty much sure it's gonna fail though. Oh, it
no,
worked.
it's 28. It's 28 Celsius. See,
Nice.
see, see. So it is even like predicting that which country should have which kind of unit by default.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You also have a enum schema, by the way.
Hmm.
So you pass the enum in specific way. So instead of like right now when you have this Celsius, right? You want very specific, then you can get this in like C and F. Now you see, you got it in C and F,
But it's cool now, right? We have in Celsius as well and in of Bangalore as well, right?
right? Like let's start ask for Ahmedabad.
Hmm. It will be around 30, 33. What do you say? 30. Oh,
30. Nice.
why Bangalore?
Oh,
Why Bangalore? Why
oh,
Bangalore?
I think I didn't refresh it.
33. Yeah,
33.
it exact.
So you
Hmm.
see how this works, and
Hmm.
it opens lot much uh, options for you.
Hmm. So
So
see, steps was three or two or what? I don't know. Step will be one, I guess, right?
step will be
Because
one
it's
because this is
be-
another.
out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right, right.
Here,
Hmm.
if you see, I think there will be two steps.
Hmm. Right. Hmm. Got it. So even you cannot you do with the same like like same request? I mean, we can say the same client. I mean, why you need to open a second
I
client, another
I
client?
will tell you. I will tell you. So it becomes on the second. Like, we try to do this, but it becomes way complicated. This is very simple
Hmm.
example, but when your tool schema is too long or your structured output, right? LLM hallucinates a lot, and also at the problem is some
Hmm.
LLM doesn't support structured output out of the box.
Right.
So you have to change the way you actually, there is an adapted support actually built for them. So the way you, what is adapted support is, so here Gemini out of the box support the structured output. But
Hmm.
there can be a dipstick which doesn't support out of the box structured output. In this case, you
Okay.
have to add additional. So first you have to transfer this object schema
Hmm.
into some kind of a
Right.
JSON schema,
Okay. Got
and
it.
then you have to pass this as an output extra
So
feeder to
yeah,
your
yeah.
message.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me try one thing. Remove the like second response fully. I mean,
Hmm.
comment it out. I mean,
Hmm.
even the schema is also now not needed. Just DT the response one, right? Yeah. And what I'm asking is to just add into the prompt that give me in the JSON format. Hmm.
Okay, here only we're gonna use.
Yeah, wherever give me result in the should be in the JSON format. Yeah. Hmm. Format CT unit. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Fine. Totally fine. But it will not be a structured at least, right? What happened?
So in this case, it's asking, can you please provide the
Latitude, longitude. Wow. Just refresh it again. I mean, that's cool. I think. Wow. I think that is not the case. I think we may messed up in the prompt somewhere. I guess something in the prompt. You are given the location. You need to return. Hmm. Wow.
I couldn't
No.
retrieve the weather forecast location. I think this is coming from.
Yeah. From here.
So
Um,
let's do one thing. Instead of Gemini 2.5, okay, let's
it's cool. I
do one
guess.
thing.
Let's move on. I mean, I think.
Yeah,
Or what do you
so
say?
let me just add the Washington DC again to show you how it works. See, lat long.
It's totally different let now. But okay.
Let's see last time.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
couldn't retrieve the failcast. Oh, I think the API call is fetching. See, failed to fetch the NWS point data.
the reason
Not sure.
minus, yeah, minus. Hmm. Are we rate limited or something like that?
Could be. Let me just
Hmm.
open. What was it? Open weather.
Why? It
Weather
was
dot.
government API, right? That API.
Yeah. API open weather dot com.
Open weather? No, 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 no. Not, not that. Just check. Let me check the chat.
This one,
Uh,
right?
api.weather.gov. Yeah, that was. Copy
Let me
this
just
lat
copy.
long. Ah, hmm. I don't know. I think why it is failing. I don't know. Hmm.
But now see, the output is
Hmm.
JSON though. Now here,
So,
JSON parsing
hmm.
is something you have to done yourself if you are not using
Hmm.
structured output. So
Yeah.
you have to do this
So
JSON
yeah.
encode
No, no, that even not gonna work.
text,
They are
and
giving
then
it into the markdown. Maybe.
so basically you can't even, yes, basically it's a JSON, it's a markdown, na? So
Hmm.
You have to change the prompt such way that
It's cool, I guess. I think.
let me try it though.
Okay, that is also a markdown parse function as well. So, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
so
What was that?
the result should be in the plain JSON format. The JSON should have following, say,
Hmm.
example. Let
Without
me just show
markdown, just tell them
it
without
without.
markdown.
No.
Hmm. Whoa, still same. Hmm.
Yeah, I I think you have to do a lot much prompt engineering over there to get the output in a specific way. Okay, I think we have explored quite a bit though. Do you
Yeah.
still want to see anything else here? Also,
No,
there is a streaming support as well. So currently, we are
hmm.
all the requests we are seeing is they are like happening real time. You can do the same thing with the stream also. So stream is nothing but like just add extra, change this
Hmm.
as text with as stream, and now instead of getting this response real time, you get a stream. Now you just have to process that stream.
Use
Basically,
okay, we are doing that. Hmm.
yeah. So basically, you will get the stream like this. So behind the scenes, you can see all the output. So
So yeah, is it not? Isn't it returning the stream response of Laravel? No.
no, it's not. It's by default, if
Hmm.
you want to use this, you have to
Hmm.
pass this in a wrap up this in a response stream though, like
Hmm.
something like this.
Right, right.
And then,
It is similar what you are doing.
yeah, so here,
Hmm. Right.
here, weather tool and response file, I will remove it. I will put it over here.
Hmm. You are still doing eco. Hmm. Right.
Yeah,
Oh. Hmm. Then
so you still need something to,
isn't it like ask for 5 to 10 cities? No, no. That gonna that gonna call more than one like function, right? Hmm.
yeah,
So yeah. So ask for any big like what do you say? Sorry. Hmm.
so basically you
Ask
have to consume
ask
this
to write
stream.
a essay.
Yeah, yeah,
Ask to
1 minute.
write a essay or something like that. Yeah.
You
Hmm.
have to consume this stream. 1 minute. Let me remove this weather tool.
Hmm.
Even I haven't dumped this before this, so I'm just gonna keep it very simple with prompt.
Hmm. Yeah. Say write a
Write
essay
a
on
300 words
word essay
long.
about benefits of
Okay.
Prism. How it is auto completing stuff like this and use markdown format.
So it's
Hmm.
it's something
Yeah.
like this. Now you
Hmm.
see the code is
300
generating.
word
It's a
finish.
PDF.
Yeah. You can see
I
bold
can do
and
this
all.
for, yeah, 500 also.
Right. So ask about drawing ASCII drawing. Draw ASCII art of a cat. Ah, he shit. I predicted the I.
Full
Oh.
Nepal is a LLM.
Okay. A bigger art. Hmm. With very big smile, big tail. Okay, and head. Uh-huh. Oh, so it gonna fail now. Oh wow. Oh wow wow. So it feels like the terminal command or something like that, right?
Right? But it
Yeah,
in this case, it's a again, it's not a
mm,
response. It's actually the response. So you can actually get this response, consume it anywhere you want.
yeah, right. So you can even ask like write Laravel in ASCII format. Mm.
Laravel in ASCII
A-
format.
ASCII art.
Yeah,
Mm. Write Laravel in ASCII art. Mm. Logo with name. Right. Whoa.
and that's
It
what
fails
happens when
sometimes.
you use a very bad model.
Mm. Okay. What you are using? Advanced.
I'm not
Mm.
sure if that's gonna work also. See,
Oh.
it didn't work.
So what I'm saying is, okay. One thing I want to try is if it works. I don't know. Yeah. Die Laravel. Oh. Draw dragon from Laravel 3 point or Laravel 4 or 3. Laravel 4. Say draw ASCII dragon from Laravel 3 or 4. We can say 4. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Let's try. I don't know if. Oh, there is something totally different. I mean,
It's hallucinating because it doesn't have that
yeah.
information. So
Hmm.
draw a sky dragon
ASCII. Yeah.
with fire breathing.
Hmm. Hmm. That is cool. I don't know who is watching, but yeah, we still fire.
So see,
It is fine. You need to what it is
so
saying that yeah.
basically
Cool,
here
but
is simple as that.
so you can also say that you are on a system prompt that you are a pro ASCII.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm,
You have to give some example as well and something like that, and then it's again it's a prompt engineering. We are
mm,
it's some very different field. I think if you want to talk about it, I can literally spend hours talking about prompt engineering though. But prompt engineering is a very different thing. If you want to output in a very specific way, it's very
right.
hard sometimes. You have to define lot many examples. There are different techniques, chain of thoughts,
Hmm.
like one shot, few shots. There is like lot much more to that. So if you want to do that, then there is lot many things you have to do. But
Okay,
if
Chirag
you
was there. I
this
didn't.
is
Chirag was there, but I never understood. Like Chirag is there. Cursor is really worth using since few months. He's using cursor. He's saying that.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm using it. I started even using this new try
Hmm.
AI try
Right. Yeah.
sorry
Hmm.
this one.
Mm-hmm. Download.
This is also being
Try.
good.
Hmm. So is it like free?
Yeah, it's free only. It's created by
Hmm.
the TikTok company
TikTok.
ByteDance. Yeah, it's created by the ByteDance.
Chinese company.
Yeah,
Whoa. Mm-hmm. So it is still
so
like kind of beta, right?
yeah, it's still in beta, not beta, it's released though, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not as good as Cursor, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also equally good.
So like, did you like Cloud 3.7?
In what sense?
Right. I mean, in coding, auto completion, or maybe vibe coding or something like that.
Yeah. Vibe coding, I end up using 3.7 Sonnet. Max model is there with Cursor, and there is another model called as a Gemini 2.5 Advanced 3
Hmm.
something with a very
Right.
bad model naming convention though.
Mm-hmm.
So that I used a lot in order to.
Right. So I found like I use GitHub Copilot for auto completion. I don't know do much vibe coding yet, but yeah. But I found 3.5 better than 3.7 in some cases. I mean,
See, again, It depends on how you prompt.
I don't do prompt. I mean, literally,
So
because it's
basically, in my opinion, the more you concise, the more you provide examples, the
so
more.
what I'm saying is, see, like whenever I'm using 3.5, right, it does not add fillable properties into my models because I don't use them, right? But 3.7 does that, right? Even if I'm not using it anywhere. So maybe it's kind of, if it is advanced, that is the issue. Maybe I don't know.
No, if here your issue is adding a fillable property. This is a specific instruction.
No, no, it's just the example. I mean, the 3.5 was following my source code, but 3.7 is adding extra stuff which are not followed my source code. I mean, 3.5 was doing stuff which are actually done my source code previously, but
Mhm.
3.7 is adding new stuff which are not even followed by my source code. I mean, that was just
Yeah,
example. Fillable was
see,
just example.
in my case, see if
Hmm.
I how I decide which model to use for which vibe coding. If it's just some kind of a thinking, okay, let's say you have to think, the model has to think before coming to a conclusion. Like let's say if I have given a docs or some website, and then based on that doc website, you have to use some kind of method, right? So for that, I use Claude 3.7 Max, which works very well
Yeah,
because
I
it
think there is
reasons
a
before.
There is a two 3.7, right? 3.7 and 3.7 thinking, right?
Thinking, and there is a 3.7 Max and 3.7 Max thinking.
Okay, but they are maybe not available in the GitHub Copilot. I mean,
Yeah,
that is
in
what is.
Cursor, the 3.7 Max is already available in Cursor. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very paid model. So you
Mm-hmm.
also, apart from the $20 fee, right, you have to pay extra for it.
Ah, okay.
And this is one thing. The second thing is, if the context of the document is very long, I end up using Gemini 2.5. So let's suppose if I am indexing a Laravel docs and then asking something on top of it, then I specifically end up using Gemini 2.5 Advanced.
Right.
Now this is two ways of selecting a basic model. In this case, 99% thing works. Like I don't have to think of it 90% of the time. 10% of the time, basically this thinking is also happening parallelly in my mind also. Like for this model, this is the stuff. Now going through this all the entire documentation, I will be posting this documentation link. Behind the scene, it will face the documentation as a markdown, converting the
Right.
entire thing inside. Now this is something doing myself will gonna take a lot much time. Like I have to go through documentation. And now sometimes that also happens where you face a bugs. Like LLM generated some random thing, it is not working. Now then at the end of you still need to go at correct documentation link and then figure out what exactly it needs to done that. Like, oh, I'm not passing this property correctly, or maybe let's say it's not keeping the connection alive, or let's say something is happening,
Right.
which is specifically mentioned in the documentation that I doesn't know just by doing a white coding. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
Like
Right.
it can cut you also, it can cut the other direction where if you want to do code very fast, then you can be very productive. At the same time, it has cons also. So yeah, that's what I
So even like what everyone says that you should do vibe coding or something like that, right? Mostly, most of the time, you are solving the errors created by the windsurf or maybe the cursor.
know. In my case, I mostly know what exactly I need to be done. I just ask
Mm-hmm.
LLM to do it. So I just don't write code now. So you know, for example, let's suppose if you have asked me how do you how you will do specific thing. Okay. Now in this case, I might have known that this is a case can be solved by let's say streaming. Okay, Prism streaming. Okay, I will reach directly to Prism streaming. I will mention that this is a Prism streaming. I need to make this. Make sure the output is streaming correctly, and at the front end also you are correctly uh, accepting that stream. Now I I end up spending like let's say 30 seconds to 1 minute on the prompt itself that this is this, now do this. 99% of the time, the code it generated is very, very detailed and very targeted.
So it is like it depends on the prompts you write, right?
It depends on the prompt you write. It depends on how you use the vibe coding.
Right. So it is like if you say that create a Twitter clone, it will not gonna do that on the first step, right?
So
You
if
need
you
to
if you
start
are
with the
doing
small.
this is a one-shot prompting. Do you call this as it a one-shot prompting?
Mm,
So if you want to do this one-shot prompting, right, create a Twitter clone, it's gonna end up whatever version it has been trained on, it's gonna build that Twitter clone on out of that, the information, okay. But now be detailed. Build me a Twitter clone. The functionality it needs to be done is I need to have add tweet functionality. The model it needs to add is this. The feature needs to add for this tweet is this. The second, then just stop. Don't give the overwhelm this. Just build the create functionality first. Then once you build the create functionality, the second time you prompt it, create a new chat and then mention that build me a view tweet functionality. And the view tweet functionality should be in the web.php file, add this route, like slash tweet slash ID, go create this controller. In the controller, create this action class or the query class
mm,
where you fetch the tweet based on some algorithm or the vector search or whatever it can be. Then return that in a very specific response based on this prompt. Now, when you're gonna code this, like it's gonna give you much more detailed, personalized, and very tailored code.
mhm.
Now
Right.
you think now the guy who has just tweeted, give me a Twitter clone. It has generated 20, 30, 40, 50 files. Now in this case, it is just gonna change five, six files, which you know what exactly do this.
Mhm.
Okay. And
Mhm.
then basically just debug it and then see in the browser that, oh, is this working? The tweet functionality is working. And yeah, that's how the white coding should be done actually. And whenever you think these are the convention of my project, always extract them in the cursor.rules or something, whatever the winds of has its own way of defining it. That way you will be much more personalized and everything. Again, I'm not saying that this shit works always 100% of the time. There are sometimes you have to go understand what exactly is being added. So let's suppose if you are end up using new library which is supported by the AI, you have to understand what exactly is using behind the scenes. If you are not learning that, then it's your problem. It's not the AI problem. It's a tool at the end of the day. If you are just keeping, let's say, using Google, you just getting the answer. But now instead of, let's say,
Yeah, like
you can do addition and
see,
subtraction
yeah, it
using
is.
calculator.
Yeah,
But
it is
but
same.
if you don't learn
Mhm.
the addition and subtraction yourself, are, I'm just no, it's your problem. It's not the calculator's problem.
Yeah, it is same like it is same like we were using like Stack Overflow or something like that, right? Our juniors use that, copy and paste the code, and just if it works, just push it into the production, right?
Exactly. So I will still say read as much as you can
Right.
on the like whatever you are doing. Make
Mhm.
sure the changes right now. It's a hobby project, so that's why I was very much accepting the changes right away. It's just an experiment we were doing. Again, I know it's a very changes are very limited to that single code
Fine.
itself. So in this case, I can just was confidently accepting that. But whenever I was doing code, I always make sure I use Git version control. Then I always take care of the checkpoints also. Like this is working now, create a checkpoint here. Now add another prompt or do something like on top of it. And that's how I will tell you, creating a software is not a moat anymore. It's not something you can build a software, right? There are still things you can build very easily using one shot prompting also, like let's say you add give me a very simple video player running on HTML. Don't use anything, just use basic style CSS and HTML file. It will give you a very basic HTML player nicely designed. So Now that what I feel is gonna happen. The coding part is gonna be as it's not be a mode anymore. Like how do I code, right? Coding was a skill 1 year back.
Right.
Now it's not.
Hmm. But still, you need to verify stuff, right?
But you need to understand coding. That's
Right.
that coding is
So even
that
like
skill is
it is not something like that. Someone come from any like market and it will just gonna start
it's not
coding.
gonna happen like that. So
Yeah.
if you are a guy who doesn't have code in your previous life
Right.
and you come it like and then just mention that this is a code, just do it.
Hmm.
It's gonna spoo anything and you're just gonna put that entire fake thing whatever and it's gonna run it. Then it's gonna be not secure. It's not gonna be the following base practices and everything,
Right.
and then you will end up, oh, it doesn't work. These are just a
Ah,
sham.
that is not gonna work. Yeah. Right. So what I'm
Again, if you are a new to this, if you are new to coding, you should definitely learn all the coding. You should
right.
go again. What I do myself, right, to keep me engaging myself in the coding, I just turn off the cursor. I open normal VS Code without any copilot, nothing, and I end up solving hackatic challenges with just to sharpen my skills. So
Right.
that's how I keep myself sharp.
Hmm. Right.
So you can also do yourself where you have to write code. Like you still need to understand syntax that this is a syntax for this. The
Right.
only thing it's gonna
So
shorten is your
see, the
yeah,
thing is like AI will have different ways of doing thing, right? But you need to know that which is the best way, right?
exactly. They
Mm.
said the same thing for the codeless platform. So see, in codeless platform, they are targeting again who they are targeting. They targeting
Yeah, they're not.
let's say are they targeting a guy who has not coded themselves? He's not gonna end up using your codeless platform because he will not understand a single thing. He will just mention that I need an app that can do basic thing. It cannot
Mhm.
build a even a basic database structure also. All these
Right,
apps you are seeing, they are gonna be the local first apps. Still, if you want to build a very nice, very good, very secure application, you still need to code it. But
yeah,
the coding part is something you have, like I'm just saying that you can fast track that thing. So let's say whatever we build, right, Punyamal, let's say it's gonna like for example, I will be very honest with you. When I built Lara Sonic, right? Do you think that apps like Lara Sonic can be built in a 2 days? But I was able to build it using AI in a 2 days itself. Even though when I didn't know anything about React.
right,
I just prompted specifically now, this is the part you want to start migrating to React. Give me all the best practices. Follow all these best practices. These are the rules you have to follow. And then it's end up doing that. And that's how you do this fight code. Now, even though I don't know a single point of React, but then I verified it with some of my friends who knows React and then asked them, is this the correct code which I'm doing? And they end up saying, yes, this is like a correct code, but this is not a correct code. You have to fix this. And I end
right,
up using that convention from the React ecosystem. So you
right,
still need to have that experience of working in that ecosystem. But I'm pretty much sold to the point where the cursor has replaced my day-to-day code editor, and AI is changing the world in a very fast-paced manner.
right. Okay, so I think this is what it was for today, right? Hmm.
So I hope
Mohammed
everyone like the
Chirag,
Prism,
yeah,
and you will end up using Prism into your Laravel package, Laravel apps though.
yeah,
Uh, I think next thing we will want to see from Punyapal is to build something out of Prism itself.
Mhm. Probably. Let's
So
see.
yeah, you can build anything. Maybe
Hmm.
any project.
See, if I will do anything, I can do something with my
Exactly. You can
chat
build
app.
a that chat app, right? Instead of chat app, just add extra thing called AI chat on top of it and
Hmm.
then just
Hmm.
hook a
Hmm.
Prism on top of it and
Right.
see how it works.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good idea. Even like so, we can have like two people and third person as a chatbot, right? So two people are chatting with each other, but when they tag that particular chatbot, it will get answer from the LLM.
Exactly.
That's right. So maybe I don't know. Okay. Okay. So let's end this stream. If Mohammed you are there and you have any question, you can ask. We can wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we can end this stream. We already have 2 hours of stream. Okay. Hmm. So tomorrow we will have like casual Laravel update talk stream. Right. We will be 3 or 4 people which will gonna talk about latest Laravel update. And this week we was having lots of updates to talk on. Right. So yeah. Hmm. Okay then. See you. Bye bye guys.
Bye.
Hmm. Okay.
Or
Let's end it. Wow, it is still 68, 67% uploaded. Hmm.
even mine also. So
I I
क्या
checked
हुआ
it.
भाई? आ, अच्छा था आज का सेशन.
Hmm. हाँ हमें शायद 2 घंटे तो नहीं खींचना था, पर ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
कितने लोग जाए आज?
चल, कोई